that about me online.
Why do you always work so late? You never have time for me and the kids.
How are we going to afford tuition this year?
There's a CBS 2 special report on the deadly terror attack in
Israelis are
Lower
dead after
Manhattan
being
today.
stabbed by a
The
Palestinian
region bracing
terrorist
for
in
yet
their
another
home on
round of
Friday.
torrential rain. But with
Breaking
thousands
news from
trying to
credit
evacuate,
monitoring
the
company
danger remains
Equifax.
very high.
Cyber thieves making off with
it seems the
private
passage of
information.
time has only made bullying
against a
worse.
backdrop of heightened tension in the region.
Anxiety has become, a larger and larger issue, especially, more in the work that I do with children and even as adults, because we live in a complicated world.
Of the thousands of people that Ohel serves on a daily basis, we serve more than 650 people every single day with some form of anxiety.
Anxiety isn't necessarily a negative thing. If we're anxious about performing on a test, we're going to probably perform better. Being human sometimes means being vulnerable. Knowing that as human beings we will sometimes get anxious, and knowing as human beings sometimes we'll have setbacks, and being able to face them, deal with them, and address them is a strength.
I go to school, I'm in 6th grade. I'm not one of the popular kids, but I have a lot of friends, and I have one really close friend. I used to be very overprotective about how I looked and how my friends would think how I look. I wanted to be liked and be like one of the popular kids. I get nervous a lot, and if my sister would throw up, I just would start crying and freak out. I couldn't just handle myself. I'm not nervous that they're sick, I just can't handle it. Or if something that I was hoping would happen went wrong, then I'd just get really upset, and I have anxieties. I don't know what else to say. One day my mother's like, I'm sending you to this place called Ohel, and I met my therapist for the first time.
She came in with a lot of anxieties in a number of different situations. Right now what we're focusing on is peer pressure and her self-image. She's very judgmental on herself. She has other specific anxieties, such as, I know she mentioned the vomit, things like that, future events of what was going to happen.
She just helped me get through a lot of different things that I needed to work on. She gave me different assignments that I needed to try, and I don't know, it just helped. It's more easier if it's not someone in my family to talk to. I just feel like it helps more. So with my therapist, I did a lot of breathing moments and yoga, and we did a lot of different art things, like something like called Zen tangles and drawing.
Art therapy helps someone to foster self-awareness, explore their feelings, manage behaviors, build self-esteem, and reduce stress. There are specific directives that we do that target anxiety. There's something that I know she mentioned called Zen tangles, which is repetitive motion drawn in a small space, and it's very soothing. As well, we do self-confidence books, which is like, what I like about myself. It took a while. She's like, I feel like I'm bragging if there was something that she wanted to say, and I'm like, it's not bragging, it's self-confidence.
I'm not bragging, I'm being confident that I really did accomplish a lot.
It is normal in certain circumstances for an individual to be anxious. However, if it crosses over to an abnormal limit where there's physical conditions, there's panic attacks, there's sweating, there's listlessness, they cannot sleep at night, it's very important to intervene.
I have anxiety. Basically, you wake up every morning and you feel like the world is like coming to an end. Your body's on high alert, you're panicking, you don't know like what's gonna happen next, you're just worried all day. And I knew that something was wrong. I was like, okay, I should not be feeling like this all the time. Someone told me about Lynn at Ohel, and I saw Lynn, and she changed my life.
When I first met her, what really struck me was how emotionally guarded she was. What would happen for her Her anxiety would kick in when she would feel a semblance of emotion. And she wouldn't know what it was, so her anxiety would actually come to protect her. When she came to me, she realized it wasn't protecting her anymore, it was hurting her. Recognizing that was the first step for me to be able to help her.
I didn't know what my feelings were. I thought emotions are bad, they actually serve a purpose. Even though they might be painful, you know, the hard ones, they serve a purpose. And that was really eye-opening for me. Like, I felt like it was a whole new world, you know? Part of, you know, going to therapy is doing the hard things even though you don't think you could. After I do them, I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know I could do that. It really is unbelievable. Sometimes I need to like remind myself, like, yeah, you know, you've come so far, you've done this, I'm a different person.
For her to have the strength to go through and pull that wall down and be vulnerable in a room with me, to be vulnerable with herself, to be vulnerable with people that she's so close to that she never thought she'd be vulnerable with. And it's painful and it's hard, but only by doing that was she able to be present and feel more animated and more with me. You know, laugh, the sarcasm or the humor in an event as well. When she shared this story about being out with her family in the city and feeling the joy of being present, that's a beautiful thing.
I went out with my husband and daughter to Times Square, and I remember like it was so new to me. Like, I felt happy. We were on the train and I was able to just be there and just be joyful. And I remember lying in bed that night, I was like, that was so nice.
You know, she was hiding in her work. She was hiding in cleaning the home. She was hiding. And now she's living and she's breathing and she's present. It's wonderful to see.
I don't know how long I would have lived like I was living without therapy. I don't know. It's scary to think that mental health is a big stigma in the Jewish community, in the greater community. More people have it than we know. I think it's so important to talk about mental health. If we could just be open about it, I feel like, you know, there would be more help. No one would feel so alone. People just need to know that it's okay to get help. You know, you don't have to live like that.
When someone finally decides to come to therapy to get themselves the help they need, it's because they want to live a better life, yes? What could be more endearing than that? Walking through that door for the first time could be the start of a new life for you. It shouldn't be a stigma. It's a gift to oneself.
It's not easy to make that decision in a world that is, they feel stigmatized. What are people going to think if my child is in therapy? But that didn't matter because their child needed help.
I was a little embarrassed and I just didn't want like all my classmates to find out. But now it's nothing to be ashamed about. This is how Hashem made me.
My life was like gray before, like literally. It was dark, and now it's like calm and colorful.